So Nick Bosa had some choice words to say to Joe Burrow after we beat them on Sunday. And if you don't know, the history between Nick Bosa and Joe Burrow is that they both played at Ohio State together. Obviously, that was a team before Joe Burrow transferred to LSU and became the starter for LSU. He was the backup quarterback at Ohio State. The same team, again, where Nick Bosa played. Obviously, Nick Bosa was a starter. He was a backup. But based on what I've heard from many different scouts, that's personnel there, they all believe that Joe Burrow should have been the starter, and once he went to LSU, he became the starter, where he was able to play with his guys, Jamar Chase and Jay Jettis, and then, of course, eventually get picked in the first pick overall in the draft. But, of course, there was some, connection there between Nick Bosa and Burrow from the Ohio State game. Now, in the NFL so far, Nick Bosa has only sacked Joe Burrow 2.5 times. One of them came from, of course, the 2021 matchup, which led to us losing the game because of the sack. But yes, there's only been 2.5 sacks total. And that is crazy to say that because Nick Bosa is one of the best pass rushers in the league right now, period. So the fact that he doesn't have more sacks against us, obviously we don't play the 49ers that much. But still, in the two matchups, only 2.5 sacks. So here's what he had to say after the game was over.
Good to see you. Hell of a game. Made our bye week trash, but if anybody would do it, I want you to.
So a little transcript, you guys did not understand that. He said, "Love you, buddy. Good to see you," Bosa told Burrow as they embraced after the game. Heck of a game. Made our bye week trash. Though, if anyone could do it, I'd want it to be you. Love you. And, listen. This is obviously because they were former teammates, right? And they both played together at Ohio State. So there's already that connection there and, brotherly, like, hey, we were teammates before. But it's also like, it's a nice moment, right? It's a nice moment when you got two NFL players who, listen, at the end of the day, Nick Bosa, he's a competitor, right? He's coming off a loss, another loss. I mean, this is the third loss back to back to back. And if you really look at the 49ers' problem here, it's their defense. Their defense, surprisingly enough, seems to be the problem the last couple weeks. Against the Vikings, their defense got shredded. The Browns shredded their defense. And now we shredded their defense. So there is no reason why Nick Bosa in any way should have been like, in any way saying something, positive or nice or sweet. It just goes to show how good of a person he is. And that's what I'm trying to allude to here. It's just that, with everything being said, with all that, anger he probably has in himself for another loss where the defense couldn't take care of business. I mean, he's still all good spirits and like, you know what? I got to talk to my man Joe because I used to play with him. Let me just give him, some words of, heartwarming message, I will say to him. And to be honest, I appreciate Bosa because he did not get any, I don't think he had any sacks against us in that game. Now, he did talk about before going into the game that he's not really too concerned about his sack numbers, and that doesn't really bother him that his sacks are not as high as they probably should be or they have been in the past. So, I guess that's like, it's one of those things where, players think of things differently than us fans do. A lot of time, like, oh, Nick Bosa has to have all these sacks or crazy amount of sacks. But in general, he's worried about, actually getting to the quarterback, maybe getting somebody else to get to the quarterback, right? Picking up a pressure and causing pressure on the quarterback with a quarterback hit or quarterback pressure with someone else, right? So again, it is what it is, man. They are going to their bye week. And yeah, there's going to be a lot of questions that have to get answered by the 49ers coming out of that bye week. Losing 3 games in a row. They were one of the top teams in the NFL, and now people are questioning without Deebo Samuel if that offense can function, and also if that defense can actually get the job done. Especially when you look at Joe Burrow's numbers in that game. I mean, the man was 28 for 32, 283 yards, and 3 tutties. That is almost a perfect day. He was 4 passes off of a perfect day in that game. So if you're the 49ers defense, especially the defense coordinator who's already on the hot seat, I don't even know. If you go into your bye week, man, that's going to be interesting. So in the 2 matchups they played against each other, Bengals quarterbacks have been 53 out of 66 attempts, 631 yards, and 4 tutties, and 0 interceptions. In both of the games we have played against them. Said again, that's 2021 and now. It's, wow. 53 for 66. So we only have 13 incompletions in 2 games against them, 631 yards, and 4 tutties. So we had 1 tutty the first game, 3 tutties this game. 0 interceptions. Bosa had every reason possible to be so negative and too angry, in that moment. And it's just getting, shout out to him because, he could have really just absolutely unloaded, frustration. And I'm sure he probably did once he got to the locker room. Again, he's a very, very fierce competitor, right? Every loss matters immensely to Nick Bosa. Obviously, yes, I know a lot of people have trashed him because he cares a lot about money, and, he got paid this offseason, and he almost wasn't going to play if he didn't get paid. But still, he's still a, fierce competitor, and he wants to win every single game. So, tell me down below your thoughts and opinions, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.